Hi everyone, it's Dwayne Pinnell with Transwest Truck Trailer RV, and I'm going to do a little drive in a 2026 Tiffin Wayfarer. This is the 25XLW, and we're on the Mercedes chassis. We do have a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine in this vehicle, and it's very luxurious from the perspective of the seats are nice and leather. We have a dash that's huge here that you can see. We have all the cameras set up. We have a rear-facing camera. We have side collision alerts and things like that. Avoidance where we need that. As far as lane change technology, it has all of that. It's got all the Mercedes safety features that one would expect from a nice Mercedes vehicle. This coach retails around $248,000, and while I'm not going to disclose a special price with you, we have a really special price. So if this is something you're looking for in a small unit, it is about 25 feet in total length. It is probably comfortably a 2-person coach, but let's face it, not everybody wants a big Class A any longer. Maybe it's an age thing, maybe it's just a needs thing, maybe it's a time that somebody has in order to use one, and they just don't want to put the money into storing something that's that large. Although, you know, storage in something like this indoors would be nice, as it always is, for no matter what the RV is, because it keeps it in a better condition. But the size here, you know, matters from the perspective of being able to get a space pretty easily, to be able to get into some of the national and state parks very easily, because they can accommodate something like this. And so I just wanted to do a little drive with you this morning on this coach so that you can just kind of see how it handles. We're not going to take a long drive, but again, just something I think that it's good for people who may be interested in something smaller because they don't want to go into something very, very large, to get a perspective on. First of all, let's look at the dash here. So I already mentioned that we've got the huge dash screen here. We've got all of the different components. This is a touch screen. You can see all the apps. This does have the Apple CarPlay in it. You can go to the coach settings right here, and it's got sub-menus, of course. And we can back up. We have, again, all the apps. It's going to show all of those. You hook up your smartphone right there. And then your info regarding the coach operation, the consumption, so that would be your miles per gallon, etc. And speaking of miles per gallon, in something like this with a 4-cylinder turbocharged Mercedes engine, and it is diesel, one would expect on the highway somewhere around that 16 miles per gallon. Of course, it will diminish a little bit for city driving, but in the strict Sprinter style coach, the Mercedes chassis, and which is what this is on, you could typically get about 20 to 22 miles per gallon on the highway, but because of the wider body in this, because it has all the living space behind us, it's going to, you know, have a wind resistance that those others do not have, so it's going to diminish your miles per gallon somewhat. We have a smart steering wheel here. Now this coach has about 930 miles on it, but to the right, everything that controls the display over here on the right is on the right of the wheel. Everything in my display area in front of the steering wheel is on my left. So you have your adaptive cruise control on the coach. You can resume, you can set your cruise, you can set the distance by which you want to follow another vehicle. The horn is here. We've got airbags for safety all around the vehicle. This does have a rear view mirror, although it's because it's a Sprinter chassis and it comes that way. Tiffin does the build on the top of the chassis, and the rear view mirror would help you see people who might be traveling with you behind you, but certainly you're not going to see anything out the back because it just isn't that kind of vehicle any longer. And then we're going to go to the home screen again. You have all of your media there, and you can stream your Pandora, Spotify, any of those apps, those medias that you want to listen to your radio. And then you've got just the regular AM, FM radio stations, and then Sirius, as you see there, so you can go through all of those Sirius channels very easily. and then select it by touching it. If you're going to FM, you simply touch the FM, and then you can tune into what station you like there, AM, etc. Back to the home screen. Here's your navigation. It tells we're in Belton, Missouri, by the way, Transwest Belton. And then your phone device, connected, disconnected, etc. So these are all the different pages within the main menu that you can go to for the technology that's here. You have your volume controls right here, although you have it on the steering wheel as well. And these are little mouse pads. So at the touch of that mouse pad, I can go through the screens just by keeping my eyes on the road and then glancing over to the right, and I can see what screens that I'm on. And then just like a mouse at your desktop, you would click that and it will select that particular screen that you're hovering over. You have your volume controls here. You can have your phone. You can hang up the phone. You can make a phone call, of course, through the Bluetooth. And then you can also select favorites from here as well. Mute the system. The coach does have a steering wheel that is adjustable. There's a lever just under the steering wheel column, and you can telescope it in or out, as I'm doing, and I'm bringing it out because that's comfortable for me in driving. And then you lock it into place. But I can also take it up and down, and I want it in a position so that I can see the display very clearly. And then I'm going to take that lever and lock it back into the place. Now the shift on this is right here on this right stalk. So right now we're in park. If I want to put it in reverse, I'm simply going to put my foot on the brake here, and I'm going to lift that up. And if we can get a picture of the display here, it shows that we are in reverse now. So taking my foot off the pedal there, we will start in reverse. In any time you want to go into the park, all you have to do is push the end of this stalk or this lever, and once again you're in park. Drive would be taking it down from the up and pushing down in the drive position, and just it's very convenient right here to your right instead of having to move a shift down on the console, or they don't make them on the column anymore, although this is considered on the column obviously. Then you have your wiper blade controls over here and your lighting controls on the left side. We do have a manual mode, so I can shift with these little paddles to that manual mode and select the gears myself for driving. And if I were climbing a mountain in Colorado or some other Blue Ridge Mountains, whatever it might be, I can go ahead and shift from right here as well in a manual mode setting, and then I could go back if I want to the automatic. This coach has dual wheels in the back, so stability is very good for the coach, although it is a little bit high profile for the size vehicle it is, but not too concerned about rolling because of those dual wheels in the back. Now this has hydraulic leveling jacks also, so if you get into a campsite or something where it's a little bit uneven, you can simply at the touch of a button level this coach up very nicely. And then you can also manipulate it in a manual mode as well if you want to adjust it just a little bit if it doesn't feel just right to you. The coach has great living space behind us, all the comforts of home, just in a smaller footprint, a smaller space. And with that, let's just take a little drive. It's a very, very foggy day here in the Kansas City, Belton area. And again, this is Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Belton. And I'm just going to hit that lever up. We're going to move into the reverse position. We see the camera view from the back here. And checking my cameras as I go. And then to move into a drive position, simply taking this lever, pushing it down into the drive mode, and we're off. I have to say that these captain's chairs in the Wayfarer, frankly in most of the Sprinter vans, you're going to find are very, very comfortable, which makes it very nice for driving and being able to drive a long distance. And I'm 6'1", And for me, the comfort in these seats, because it sits a little higher, is really nice, because I'm not scrunched in here or anything like that. You do have the pass through from the front cab into the living area behind us, and it makes it just a very, very comfortable drive. So again, if you're looking for a vehicle that's a small footprint, easy to drive, easy for anyone to drive, maybe somebody's intimidated by driving a large Class A vehicle or even a Super C, which is going to be bigger than this coach also. This takes a lot of that fear away, because it's very familiar with reference to the size, with reference to the nose in the front, instead of the blunt nose front like you would have in a Class A, either diesel or gas coach. And hopefully you can see with the steer of one hand and just the lightness of the steering wheel, it makes it a really nice drive. And very agile as far as turning and just moving the coach through your daily drive wherever the destination might be. And plenty of power also, with a little 4-cylinder Mercedes engine. It does have a generator on board, so if you wanted to run the house air while going down the road, you can turn that generator on, and you're going to have all the power that you need to run everything in the back that's necessary. And again, this is a diesel engine, so it does take the DEF fuel. The DEF tank is under the hood in the front, and those don't need to be filled every time that you fill up the fuel, but typically every third to fourth time you fill up the fuel. And you do have a gauge in the coach here that allows you to see what the level of your DEF tank is, but it helps to burn that diesel fuel much more cleanly than if it weren't there. You might have noticed years gone by when you see a coach or a truck going down the road and they have a lot of soot on the back of the vehicle where the exhaust is. That has taken a lot of that away, because it helps that fuel, diesel fuel, to burn, as I said, much more cleanly. You don't have that soot buildup as you once did, and still have all the power that you need to do those things that you need. With this coach, as I mentioned, driving in the mountains earlier, you can maintain a pretty nice speed in this side of coach while going up on the mountain side without bogging down dramatically and going 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, which is very important to a lot of people. You have a speed limit sign. So our speed limit here is 45. On this road, it tells you very clearly there. So also very intuitive or informative as far as the road systems that you're on and what the speed is, so that you know that you can maintain within that speed limit. And I've got the blinker on to the right now, so it's giving us a right camera view, which is also helpful if I were in a passing lane and I want to move over, making sure that it's clear and there's nothing beside me before I do that. And after we make that corner, the blinker turns off, and then I've got the main screen there once again. Now the blinker to the left, as I'm going to be entering onto the highway here. There's quite a bit of traffic. It's 2 days before Christmas, and I found that there are a lot of people who are not working, who've taken off this week, just finishing up their Christmas shopping or whatever it might be. But we do have more traffic on this Tuesday than typically we might have otherwise. But we are up to highway speed now, and it wasn't hard to do that. As you can see, the acceleration was very nice. We're able to maintain a nice, comfortable speed in the vehicle. We have the automatic windshield wiper blades on, so once it gets the moisture or detects the moisture that's on that windshield, it will actually turn on those blades as it needs to. If we've got consistent rain, it will continue those, and you can turn it into the mode where it does continually wipe the windshield, but it's nice to have these wiper blades that have the rain sensor on them in order to do just that. And Tiffin's been doing the Wayfarer for quite a few years now, and they make a very nice coach. And we sell a lot of these. They sell a lot of them throughout the country. Again, because a lot of people are trying to get out of those massive coaches into something with a little bit smaller footprint, easier for everyone to drive, convenient to get into campgrounds, convenient to maneuver wherever you want to park or places that you want to go without having to look for additional space in order to be able to accommodate something of the larger size. And let's face it, not a lot of people need tons and tons of space, and it's great for those people who do. Those things are available. But for those people who do not need something of that size, this is a great alternative. Allows you to get away from the home and then out and about living the lifestyle in your spare time. Something that's fun for everybody to do, seeing the beautiful country that we live in. And it just makes for a very nice travel vehicle as well. Easy to talk while we're going down the road. Now, because of all the different connections, joints, etc. throughout behind us, you're going to hear a little bit of noise behind us, but not deafening by any means. And that engine is quiet enough that we don't have to talk loudly over it in order to hear one another. Even the people behind here, if they were sitting there, it'd be easy to converse with them as well. And with that, we are back at Transwest. Again, just a short drive to give you an insight of what a 2026 Tiffin Wayfarer, again, this is the 25XLW. I have several models, different floor plans here. I hope you'll call me, Dwayne Pinnell, 816-516-5312. And my information is right there again. So give me a call. It'd be my pleasure to do business with you and to help you in whatever needs that you have. And as we look around our lot here, we have a lot of inventory to choose from. If this isn't the right vehicle, we can find something that will fit your needs. Thanks so much and have a great day.